Okay, I've made 3 or 4 of these, and I'm trying to keep them as short as I can. I was trying to keep them 10 minutes or under, and I haven't been able to do that, so we'll just have to take it the best we can. This is going to cover basics on ukulele lingo, and I say ukulele. I know in Hawaii it's ukulele. In Illinois, I'm afraid it's ukulele, and I apologize if I'm making anybody upset with that. If you've played for very long, you don't need to watch this. It would be extremely boring for you. This is to help those folks that you hear somebody talking about their action or the size of the nut or any number of other things, and you're just embarrassed to ask, what does that mean? Or maybe it's not a case of embarrassment, maybe it's on a video and you can't ask him. So I'm going to try and cover several of the things that are just really basic, and I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. Hopefully it'll answer some of the questions, but if I don't cover everything, please just put it in the comments below. I'll answer, no problem at all. All right, ukuleles. They come in 4 basic sizes, the smallest being a soprano. Soprano, you think of maybe somebody sitting on the beach or around a campfire playing. They sound like a typical ukulele you picture in your mind. As they get larger, the tone kind of changes. The next size up is a concert, which is an excellent one for starting on. A tenor, another excellent one for starting on. This is a tenor. That's what most of mine are. Not all, but most of mine. And baritone is the largest. Still smaller than guitar, and it's referred to as a ukulele. But the tuning is different. The tuning on a baritone is exactly the same as that on a guitar. So if you know how to play a guitar, you can pick up a baritone ukulele and you can play it instantly. No problem at all. If you don't, if you go with one of these other ukuleles, the fretting pattern is the same, but the note, the chord that matches it is different. And you're going to have to realize that. Like, that's a pattern for a C, but on a ukulele, it's an F. And it goes on and on. So let's start at the top. This is the headstock. They're different designs. This one happens to be a Kala Elite, very pretty. And these are tuners. There's different types of tuners. This is what they call a sealed gear tuner. You can see they're covered. There are no exposed gears there. Keeps the lint out, hopefully making it turn a little bit easier and a little bit smoother as, you know, throughout the life of the ukulele. This one, all of these are Kalas, by the way. This one is an open gear tuner. Those are Grovers. Very smooth, very nice, very easy to turn. Again, that's just an open one. I apologize. I've had this cough for a while and I'm getting kind of tired of it. These are also open gear tuners, but it's in a slot head, so they sit sideways. It looks different, but it's still the same tuner. The other one, which I do not have, is called a friction tuner. Early ukuleles in particular, if I took that headstock and just drilled holes in it, and then took pegs a little bit bigger than the hole, and forced those in with a knob on the end to where they extended out, I could wrap the string, tighten it, and the friction between the woods would hold it in place. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. I mean, if I turn so much, it moves so much, where the gears are set up differently so that you might turn it a lot to get it to move a little bit, so you have more control when you're actually tuning the instrument. And speaking of tuning the instrument, this is a tuner. You need a tuner. There's a lot of different brands. I've got ones that I bought for $5. I've got ones that I bought for $25. But this is a Snark. They're usually on Amazon for about $10 to $15, just depending. And tuners do not, believe it or not, they don't work off sound. They work off vibration. And that's why it's clipped to the headstock, and when you play it, the vibration works its way through. You can see up here, that is a G. Now, if it stops exactly at the G, it's perfect. If it goes short of it or too far, it is not. If it doesn't make it to the G, it's too flat. It needs to be a little higher. If it goes past it, it's too sharp. It needs to be a little bit lower. When you're tuning this and when you're doing that, you play it, you look at it, and you stop it. Don't just let it play on, because it may reach that that note and it won't be accurate. You just need to know what it is instantly. So that's what you're going to do. We've got our body, our neck, and our headstock. The neck is the next thing down. This is the fretboard. Fretboards have markers on them, different ones. This particular one, I didn't think the markers were large enough. So what I did is I picked up some glow-in-the-dark stickers and I put them on the side and the top. They've been on there for a long time and they work really well. I've got another video on that one so you can kind of check around and see. But it does make it a little bit easier. This one happens to be an ebony board. They make them out of mahogany, rosewood. They make all different types. Is one better than the other? I have no idea. I buy them and play them. And I buy too many of them and play them. My wife is like, how many more ukuleles are you going to buy? Just one more, honey. Just one more. So the neck might have a different thickness to it. Some are larger than others. Some have different shapes. They're like in V's or whatnot. But and so you'll kind of experiment. If somebody says my ukulele is 35 at the nut, what are they talking about? Well, up here, this is referred to as the nut. Now on this one it's black. Most of these other ones, I got another black and a white one. But this has grooves cut in it. The strings come up, lay over it, and go in to the tuners. These are cut at an angle so that it works perfectly. And 35 is pretty much the standard. Somewhere between 35 and then a large one would be 38. Are there other sizes? I'm sure there are, but those are the main ones. Why would you want something bigger or smaller? Well, people with really large hands, you still have to get your fingers inside of the fretting area. And for some people, it is much easier with a wider one. Gives them more room for their fingers. Everybody's different. I've seen people with really big fingers that play on the smaller one. So everybody is different. You're going to work your way down. You got your sound hole. Bridge and saddle, sit down here. The strings, they make different strings. There are basically nylon strings, fluorocarbon strings, maybe titanium, and wound strings. Titaniums are basically, they have a wire running through the center of it, which is made of titanium. Wound strings are usually just on the lowest string, the E string, but they could be on the C string as well. What it is it's a string and it's got a flat wound wire around it like a guitar string. A lot of times there's a lot of squeak to it, so people don't care for it. You may notice this one does not have squeak. This is a Pepe Romero string on it. But fluorocarbons are pretty much a standard now. Nylon stretch a lot and we'd have to tune it all the time. Fluorocarbons will settle in and stay pretty consistent. Fluorocarbons are fishing line. So if you hear somebody refer to a fluorocarbon, you can think fishing line. If you hear them say, I've got fishing line, think fluorocarbons, because that's what they are. Different sizes, different colors, different diameters. I have 3 different types of strings here. I have Living Waters on one over there. I've got Pepe Romero on see that one. I have Call It Leets here, which are also Worth Browns. I have Fremont Blackline over there. That string sounds great there, doesn't sound as good over here, vice versa. I buy enough strings that I play with them and I'll try and see what sounds good with what. So there's a certain sound that I like and that's pretty much what I go with. Wood. The bodies are different. This one is called Flame Maple and maybe you can see the flame in it. It's very pretty all the way around and back and forth. This one is a type of koa. What is koa? You can see the flame in that as well. Koa is a wood that's only grown in Hawaii. Now they make something called acacia, which is a type of koa that is not grown in Hawaii. But when you see koa, the wood came from Hawaii. Does that mean it's expensive? It could be, and generally it is. Koas come in different grades, just like anything else, and the one with more flame, more curl, are harder to come by, and they're going to be more expensive. You have a lot of great craftsmen out there making great ukuleles. Out there, it's ukuleles, and you're going to pay for it. I mean, if you want the best, you're going to pay for it. These are not cheap, but they're not on the same level as the ones that are out there. Does that mean they're not good? Not even close. I love these things. I mean, I love them. So different woods sound different, and sometimes a combination of the woods. You'll see somebody that says, well, I got a top that's koa and sides that are maple, and that's what they're doing. They're doing different, they're matching woods when they build it. They might say, I have a laminate sides and back, and I have a koa top. Well, what's that mean? Well, laminate, basically, if you think plywood, you're thinking laminate. Plywood are thin layers of wood that are put one on top of another, pressed together and glued. And it makes a very strong, solid wood. Well, they can do that with these woods as well. It could be a completely solid laminate, top, back, and sides, or it can be partial. Laminates, they're not bad. Don't think they are. They're different. Don't think maple's bad. It's different. Don't think koa's bad. It's different. All of these are different. They have different characteristics, and you just have to learn, you know, what do you like? What works, you know, the best for you? This particular ukulele has what, if you hear somebody say it's got a cutaway, this is what it's referring to. A slotted headstock, this is what it's referring to. Now, what's the point in a cutaway? Well, it's kind of twofold. One, it looks cool. I mean, doesn't that look good? The other is it allows you access to the higher notes a little easier. Rather than reaching around the ukulele, you can just go straight to it. This one, again, a kala, really pretty. This one is mahogany, and I think it's gorgeous too. Really very, very nice. You'll see that this has got a scallop on it. So it's a type of cutaway, but instead of going all the way through, it's at an angle. You can still get your fingers up there, you know, to place those notes, but it looks different. So the body is larger on the inside. The cutaway eliminates a little bit of the body. So very, very nice all the way, you know, through. All of these ukuleles are wonderful, and I'm trying to think what else, you know, just off the top of my head that I should mention to you. Well, let's go back to what I said before. If you think of something that you have a question on, just ask. Put it in the box. You know, what is this or what is that? Harmonics. I mean, there's just so many. Literally, there are, I was going to say hundreds of things, but I'm not smart enough to know hundreds of things. But there are lots of things that I can help you with. So please don't hesitate. Just holler, and I'll do everything I can. So thanks for watching. See how clever this is. I go down to meet it and say hello. Thank you.